This is a major warning for the supply chain of the US. Right now, we just had imports going into the US shut down, and they're still being shut down. We had a massive shutdown of one of the biggest train and rail operations in the entire world going into the US, importing goods into the US was just shut down. And they're talking about shutting down even more sectors. They're talking about having on and off shutdowns of our international supply chain, importing goods into the US right now. All right, so this is going to cause major food shortages. This is one of the main ways that the food harvest is transported into the US. Okay, we could also have major parts shortages as well, and automotive shortages and parts for cars and trucks. We could see major shortages for what is happening right now, and this is on purpose. This is an intentional plan to shut down our international supply chain and shut down America's supply chain. This is going to affect oil imports. This is going to affect minerals. This is going to affect natural gas. All these things are being affected right now and have been shut down, have been taken offline. America is being cut off. Its resources coming into the country are being shut off left and right. There's all these different reports that I've been making, and now there's a new one shutting down the rail system going into the US. Okay, this is a siege warfare tactic on the US, and this is what they do in times of war. It's called siege warfare, where they surround countries and they choke off the imports. Okay, so you're not able to replenish yourself, and you just have to depend exclusively on what your country has. And on top of this, the strategic oil reserves are at all-time lows right now. And there's even some experts warning that there could be damage to the caves that hold all the oil because so much oil has been drained from it. All right, so all these things are happening right now, and now we're having a major attack on our supply chain as well. And this is going to cause fruit shortages. Major fruit shortages are going to come to Walmart. This is going to hit everywhere. Kroger, Publix, Piggly Wiggly. This is going to hit everywhere that you shop at. King Sooper. All these major grocery stores, this is where they get their fruit from. This is where they get their food from. We could have major grain shortages as well for cattle, pigs, chicken as well, and that could cause major price increases in grain for your animals, and to buy it on the shelves as well. We could see shortages and major spikes in cattle, pig, and chicken right now. All right, they all depend heavily on grain. All these things are being shut down. We could see gas prices go up even more from this event. All right, let me know down below if you've been seeing your gas prices spike, because this is serious, guys. This is getting bad. This is getting out of control, the inflation situation in America, and this is part of it. This is part of the collapsing from the inside out, is making things so unlivable and so unsustainable for the average person to live. Things are just too expensive. Home prices are insane. Interest prices are insane. People living on fixed income, Social Security, they're getting completely demolished right now with this inflation. All this stuff is happening, and there's no end in sight. Now they're shutting down the supply chain and the imports going into the US. All right, so you need to be getting stocked up. You need to be getting prepared. All these things are being shut down. Fertilizer going into the US is being shut down right now, okay? And they're also shutting down international bridges that transport trucks as well into the US and import goods into the US. These international bridges are being shut down as well right now, okay? So this is a coordinated effort. This is a coordinated attack on the US and our supply chain, and we need to be getting ready, and you need to be getting your family in a safe, secure location, and you need to have plenty of preps. So let's get into what's going on and what is shutting down our supply chain. We have the biggest railroad operation in Mexico being shut down right now, and this transports hundreds of cars into the US every single day of oil, of fruit, vegetables, critical goods, automobiles, auto parts. All these things are being stopped and shut down right now as the largest shipping and train company in Mexico is shutting down right now. And this is continuing. Okay, they keep having to shut down new routes and open new routes and shut down this route over here and open this route over here. This is happening right now. And at one point the other day, they had 60 different routes going into the U.S., northbound routes going into the U.S. 60 different ones were shut down the other day. All right, and this is fluctuating. Sometimes it's down to 40. Sometimes it's up to 50. It's up to 60. All right, but this is happening right now, and we are having coordinated efforts and attacks on our supply chain coming from Mexico going into the U.S. And they're saying that this is due to thousands of people blocking the trains and thousands of people jumping on the trains as well while the trains are moving, and this is causing major casualty events. Okay, so this company is called Ferromex. It's the biggest rail company in Mexico, and they import billions of dollars of goods into the U.S. every single year. And this is critical for us. And they have shut down 60 different routes at one point the other day. And this is fluctuating around. They're opening routes. They're trying to get them open. They're shutting down other ones that are being overwhelmed because thousands of people are jumping on their trains at once, and they're having mass casualty events. People are not making it. Not everyone is able to run and jump on a train and do this while carrying a bunch of stuff or carrying other people. It's a major disaster, right, of what's going on here with these trains. And there's thousands of people trying to get on them because they are going north into the U.S. and they have halted over 60 different routes going into the U.S. And they're saying this is a continuing problem that they're dealing with, and they don't know how to deal with it. All right, this is a major issue going on right now. It was just reported in the last 24 hours that over 11,000 people documented that encountered law enforcement. Over 11,000 people crossed into the U.S. in the last 24 hours, all right? And a giant portion of them are hopping on these trains, and they've had to shut them down because it's so dangerous, and it's turning into a mass casualty event and a major liability for this company, for this Ferromex train company. All right, so this is insane. This is an attack on our supply chain, and they are shutting things down and slowing it down. They also shut down a international bridge connecting the U.S. and Mexico because there was so many people on it, and they had it shut down for a whole day just the other day too, because there's just 5,000 people swarming this one spot at once, and it shuts down the bridge. They have to process them all. They have to go through everyone, and this is shutting down international trade for the United States and Mexico right now. All right, so please hit it up for me down there to help get this video out. There's going to be major shortages coming on vegetables, fruit, on grain. This is prime time for corn harvest in Mexico. They're going to be having their corn harvest all winter. All right, that's how we have these fruits and vegetables mostly that are in these northern states in the winter. Is they grow tons of stuff in Southern California, and they also grow a ton of fruits and vegetables, squash, cucumbers, anything that's a summer crop that you're buying up north where it's snowing. All right, tomatoes, whatever it is, that is probably grown in Mexico. All right, at least like 90% of it is grown in Mexico, and a lot of that stuff is going to be stopped if these trains keep having major issues like this. All right, so you need to be getting stocked up. You need to be getting canned food. You need to be getting storable food. You need to be getting 20-pound bags of rice stocked up on all this stuff, because there's attack after attack on our supply chain. There's a major problem at the Panama Canal as well going on right now and affecting imports from China going to the East Coast. All right, that's a major issue that's happening right now as well. So all these things are hitting our supply chain and also affecting oil imports from the Middle East going to the West Coast because the Panama Canal is so low I made a whole video on that last week, and our supply chain is dwindling. All right, so make sure you're getting stocked up, make sure you are prepped, and make sure you are getting enough for other people too. All right, because your neighbor might not be as prepped as you are when it hits the fan. All right, your cousin might not be as prepped, your mom or whatever might not be as prepped. All right, so just get a little bit extra for your friends and family when stuff like this really starts buckling and when it hits. And this is something that can just happen overnight. Overnight, they shut down 60 different routes temporarily. Ferromex did, going into the US. 60 different ones. These are major routes transporting goods for a supply chain. All right, so this can happen overnight, and you need to be prepared and be stocked up. All right, so please hit it up for me down there. I really appreciate that. I hope you have big blessings for your family. You guys bless me up. You guys bless my family, and I truly appreciate that. And I hope you guys have a big old blessed day.